something you can't fix.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
It's Jay and Adam. It's Preview.
It's Preview's Fix It with Adam and Jay.
Hey, pages! Oh, welcome to Fix It, where friends don't let friends fix pop culture alone.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay, and you're our listener.
Hey there, listeners.
Hey there, or ho there, listeners. That's what I'm supposed to say.
I know Kung Fu, listeners.
He does know Kung Fu, and he will be teaching it at the Vlisteria Y every Saturday afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
Bring the kids.
Bring the kids.
Yeah, the kids learn Kung Fu, and the kids, they get, there's a bounce castle and balloon sculpture. So,
Ooh, afterwards, yeah, if they're
Yeah.
good. Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're supposed to call it balloon sculpture. I think it's, balloon twisters? Twisties? Is that what they're called? Anyways, there will be no clowns, as clowns have been outlawed in Vlisteria, but there will be balloon twisters and a bounce castle for the youngins, while Adam teaches you how to punch so hard that you break the internet.
Yes.
Welcome.
It's all about flexing.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Whoop, whoop.
Welcome to our show, Fix It. This is our podcast. I'm Jay, that's Adam. You may know us from the runaway smash of our YouTube reaction channel Previewed, which we're currently on right now, which has been going very well for all the people who have been very kind in the comments for us posting this on the main channel. Thank you very much. And for the people who have not been kind,
Thanks for the engagement.
thanks for the engagement. But it's been a small minority. So mostly positive. So we appreciate that. This is our podcast, Fix It, where every week Adam and I take a piece of pop culture that maybe missed the mark, maybe didn't quite get there, maybe just couldn't get to that phone in time, and we fix it. And today, Adam and I are going to be fixing the much aligned, the much conversed, the much memed Matrix 2. Matrix Reloaded.
It's memed? What are the memes from this one?
I don't know. I think that's just, I was looking for another thing for it to be much, because I was going for a 3.
I do.
I'm sure there are Matrix Reloaded memes.
Oh, there are plenty of Matrix memes out there.
Maybe
sure.
Maybe there are memes of us talking about the second Matrix movie.
I think there's some Jorpheus memes out there.
Can we meme us? We want to be memed. I mean the people gif us a lot, but they don't meme us. You know,
that's true.
We don't meme like we used to anymore
we
culturally.
really don't.
I feel like we kind of locked in with all of our memes, and now we're just
we're just gifting.
yeah, we're in a post-meme world, my friend.
We're gifting and goofing.
Gifting, goofing, no more memeing.
No mo.
No more memeing. But before we get into fixing Matrix Reloaded today, and Adam, I'm for those of you who are listening in the audio format, Adam is wearing his Morpheus glasses.
My Neo glasses.
Your Neo glasses?
Jay, I'm Neo.
Oh.
Clearly, Jay, if you look behind us, you'll notice that on the big screen behind us, I'm Neo, although you can barely tell the difference. The deep fake is me deep faking on Keanu Reeves is pretty much a
is that
1-for-1. That is me.
Huh.
And Jay is Trinity.
Of course I am.
You are.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's a striking Trinity right there.
Yeah. But before we get into fixing Matrix Reloaded, we come to our favorite segment of the show, where Adam and I deepen our second best friendship.
Wow.
And
Thanks, bud.
And really explore the fellowship that is our friendship. And everyone's favorite segment, Roll for Convo. And in this segment, Adam and I, we have 20 topics of conversation provided to us by our wonderful producer, Brian. Producer Brian has given us 20...
He is our tank, basically.
Yes. Yeah. And that he gets...
He needs to get the computer, typing stuff, finding stuff out about things.
Oh, yeah, Dozer's the one that gets killed.
Dozer gets killed.
Movie, yeah.
Tank survives.
We've 20
Operator!
20 topics of conversation. I'm going to roll a 20-sided die, and we're going to figure out what we're going to talk about in our first segment. That's a nat 20, baby!
Oh, okay. Well, I got to take the glasses off because...
Critical. No, you've just been looking for an excuse.
I can't see them.
That's not a good enough excuse.
I can't read without them.
No, you've been...
Sorry.
Ever since you put them on, you're like, when do I get to take these off?
There we go. All right. Question number 20. This better be a critically awesome question. Use this opportunity to thank somebody for something that you typically don't thank.
Oh. Okay.
Hmm.
I like a little gratitude.
Okay.
I love a little gratitude. I love a little gratitude.
Who don't I
Who I don't normally
thank? Yeah, who do I don't normally
Who
thank?
I don't normally thank.
I don't know. My mom raised me right. I say please and thank you to everybody.
I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
I am very much a please and thank you person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is one thing that you have over producer Brian in his best friend slot.
Really?
You're
Brian
much better
doesn't
about your
please and
pleases
thank you?
Thank yous.
Really?
On the East Coast, it's more of an... Kimberly is not really big into please or thank you anyways.
What?
It's implied. It's implied.
It's implied?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't imply the
Kimberly
please and
has
thank
often
you.
told me, she was like, I love you. I don't have to say please or thank you to you. And I'm like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works at all.
Yeah. No.
So if Kimberly got this question, she should answer you.
No.
Well, yes.
No, she's I am just a words of affirmation person, and my wife is not.
No.
So I oftentimes say, I say thank you, probably too much, I think.
Can you say thank you too much?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's the thing. It's not like I'm sorry, which you can say too much.
Yes,
but
you can.
But you can't be too grateful, I don't think. So yeah, I don't know if there's. I think we kind of need to eliminate that part of the question in order to properly answer this.
Yeah.
Is there someone in your life that really deserves like a grateful shout out?
Who deserves a grateful shout out? Who's it gonna be?
You were saying
I
this
feel like
in a tone of voice that you were like sitting on a golden throne.
I am, and there's a stage in front of me. Her deserves.
Ah, who will survive the purge today? Yes. Who will get the first little crumb? Yes. Oh, it is I, King Adam, doling out gratitude. Oh, I love this voice. This is fun.
Oh, is it fun?
I love it. Oh, more grapes.
Okay, cookies and cream.
No, it's berries and cream.
Berries and cream.
No, that's berries and cream. And this is it's like Hedenbot from
Futurama.
Yeah.
Well, I thank my mom a lot when we talk every week.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll thank my father.
Go. I like this.
My dad and I don't talk every week. I usually talk through my mom.
Yes.
Because because my dad doesn't ask enough leading questions.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I golfed well. Think this is stuff's going on. Do you want to talk about, I cooked this and this? That was pretty good.
Yeah.
How do you cook rice? Oh, that's neat. Well, I gotta go. Okay, bye. I was like, oh, but okay, Dad, love you, bye. But my mom's just like, tell me everything. No, I'm done with me. Now tell me anything you want.
Yeah.
Like, she'll give me the report of what's going on with my sister and stuff like that and the rest of the family. And she's like, well, that's enough. You talk now. Tell me everything you did. It's like, okay.
Okay. So what are you thanking your dad for, precisely?
I want to thank my dad for continuing to be there for me.
Yeah. For
having my back through all this.
Yeah.
This is especially for the many years ago in the other incarnation of Adam.
Yeah.
The one you didn't meet.
When he taught you how to build a gazebo.
Well,
is that what you're thanking him for?
No. But I did build a bunch of gazebos with my dad.
I'm just saying.
And fences.
I think
and
a live
basements
stream of Adam Lash building a gazebo would go over like gangbusters. We could use a gazebo. I don't know where we put it.
Where would you put it, Jay?
I don't know. I'll tell you where.
Cool. But my dad is the one who kept on me through my 20s and early 30s. It's just like, hey, you need a job. You need to figure this out. What are you going to do? What's your plan? You got to do this on your own. You got to figure out what you're going to do. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And it just kept like, stop nagging me. Stop it. I have it. Stop it. I got this. Stop this. But his constant, like, do you? No. You got to figure this out.
That's what,
Get the plan helped me realize that, oh, wait a second. I do have to kind of do this on my own. I got to figure out how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Let me figure out how to do this stuff.
And I'll build a gazebo.
And I'll build a gazebo on my own. And then when I'm done, I'll celebrate by kicking a car.
And make the airbag go. Or break your femur.
Or break my femur.
Either
Something's breaking.
Either or, it's great TV. Yeah.
So yeah, I want to thank my dad for being that guy behind me the entire time, just kind of being like the,
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me
nice.
rest on my laurels.
Yeah. Yeah. And now you've never really been a laurel rester.
That you know of, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, now that you've perfected the system, and you are in the final form.
I wouldn't know this is my final form, Jay.
Yeah.
This isn't even my final
Oh
form.
man, yeah, you're gonna be one weird looking Majin Buu at the end of this.
Dude, if I think no. We'll figure out some way cool transformation
You're
with
like,
Majin
no,
Buu.
You're Cell.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm Majin Buu. That's pretty clear.
That's pretty clear. Yeah.
I mean, his weight fluctuates about as much as mine does. So.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm perfect.
Yeah.
Or trying to achieve perfection.
If I have to think, I think who I don't necessarily, I think the caveat of someone that I don't necessarily think a lot. Well, there's specifically, I'm throwing that part out because this is a fun opportunity for me to say something because into the ether because
Manifest it, Jay.
let
them know.
There is no way in hell that she's going to listen to this podcast, and there's no way, or watch it for that matter, or listen, as the
You've already given it away, Jay.
No, I can't. Kimberly just gave me the best boy. She just gave me the best kid, and she's such a good mom, and she's so hard on herself, and it's just wonderful watching her be a mom. And I thank her a lot. So this doesn't answer the question, but it's all I have. It's all I have in my heart right now. She's just so hard on herself, and she just takes such good care of our little family, and I'll never be able to repay her. Wow, okay. Thanks, Brian. This is supposed to be a nat 20. This is supposed to be where we both get to do a backflip and look awesome, and not, So I just can't thank Kimberly enough, because, yeah, this boy has been it has been the hardest thing we've ever done, but he's perfect. He's perfect, and Kimberly is the reason that he's perfect.
Really?
Yeah, she made him.
Yeah, but you're there too, bud.
I know. I'm just saying structurally.
Okay.
I didn't have anything to do with the architecture.
Can I possibly, and Brian, we can cut this out, and Jay, you can tell me if we cut this out or not, but
yeah.
I think I would like to also take this opportunity on your behalf to thank you for your efforts on behalf of your son that I don't know if you thank yourself enough for, because I see what you're doing, and I see how hard you work to make sure that he is okay and taken care of. And I think that you also deserve a lot of gratitude that he can't give it to you yet. And maybe someday when he's 25 or 30, he'll realize how much work you put into
After I keep prodding him.
Proper him to
You got this, bud? You got this?
You sure you got this?
Do you need Uncle Adam to teach you how to make a gazebo?
Kick a car?
Well, he can't, he'll tell you how to do it. He can't show you because both of his legs were broken over and over again.
One of these days I'm going to get that car.
From kicking a sedan. Thank you. That's very kind. I thank you for. I'm keeping it together right now, because if I didn't, I think that's the moral of the story, is that I have not been giving myself really any credit, and yeah, man, yeah, it's been a life changer, but I wouldn't have it any other way. He's just so friggin' cute. You see that picture I sent you with his little hat?
You're a cutie.
Little guy. What a little guy.
Yes.
Oh, what a little guy.
That's a good statement. What
He's
a little
such
guy.
a good boy today. I was like, we're working on that pitch for something that maybe will happen.
Maybe we'll talk about
We're working on, we're moving and grooving.
We're making
and
moves, baby.
Making moves, baby. And, and I looked at him and I go, bud, I was like, Daddy has got to crank out this email. So I need you to be a good boy and just play. And he was a good boy and he played. Yeah. And also, if there's one thing, I think, just to land the plane on this segment, if who we don't necessarily thank a lot for this show, producer Brian. He produces the absolute crap out of this show. He does a really spectacular job and keeps us organized.
He keeps us very organized.
Keeps us very organized on a thing that we don't necessarily have a ton of brain power of.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying,
I was
Jay.
like, like Brian is the main reason that the show continues to go. And we really appreciate you, dude.
You're very good at this. Thank you for managing us.
Now edit out this part.
The facade must never crumble.
We love you, buddy. But also you're hanging on by a thread.
The tiniest of threads.
He has no clue. He's just clicking, clacking along.
I hope today's not today.
Doesn't even see the tracks be a wobbling. Whew. Okay, well that got really emotional. Let's talk about The Matrix. Another thing that I am very weirdly, and I had forgotten how emotional I am about
really?
This property. Yeah, I really love The Matrix. I saw The Matrix 4 times in the theaters.
Sure, yeah, it was awesome.
I just and that wasn't, and the movie that I've seen the most time in theaters, I went and saw Night at the Museum a total of 5 times at the theaters.
Night at the Museum.
That movie is electric. I love that, everything about that movie. It just came out at a time where I was just like, I didn't have a lot going on because I was like on winter break from college, and I was like, and everyone was just like, oh, did you like Night at the Museum? I was like, I loved it. They're like, I want to go. I'm like, I'll go with you. Let's go. So I went 5 times. I loved it. So, but the second most movie I've ever seen is The Matrix in theaters, and I went twice by myself.
Wow.
As a 14-year-old kid, I was like, I want to go see The Matrix again, and no one wants to go. I'm just gonna go. And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Don't get picked up by agents. Bye. Good
Yeah.
luck.
I friggin' and I skipped school to see the sequel.
Sure.
On the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And got in trouble.
Yeah.
And because me and my buddies went, we're like, screw it, let's just go see The Matrix. Yeah. And Mom was like, you skipped school today? I was like, yeah, I want to see The Matrix, the new Matrix movie. And she was like, okay. She was like, you could have just asked, but okay. And I was like, and she was like, you're in trouble. And I was like, I know. And she was like, was it worth it? And I was like, no, Mom, it was bad. And she was like, oh, I am. She was actually sorry for me.
Yeah.
Because she knew how much I loved it.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, that really sucks. I was like, yeah, it really does. It really sucks. That it was. I was like, it wasn't. And The Matrix and the sequels fall into this weird category. And like spending some time with like this franchise over the past couple of days, it's weird how I appreciate how much the sequels respect the world that they have given us.
Sure.
But they just make choices that aren't fun.
No.
It's so weird to me.
No.
Like the car chase scene when they're like running from the twins and stuff.
And Ghost Twins.
It's the action's incredible.
Sure.
And wowzers, what an accomplishment that sequence is.
Yeah.
But the whole time you're like, oh, but who is anybody?
What's going on?
Who cares?
Wait, who is the Merovingian? Why are they caring about a key guy? What's happening
And conceptually, that whole thing could have been cool if you just, I'm like, we're in a computer program. Let's lean into that a little more. Like, I had a lot of realizations about The Matrix. I've been thinking about it a lot. My main thought What's up?
Your main thought is to kick it to Brian before you get that
Yeah,
main
we probably
thought?
should because I'm gonna get real.
I saw in your eyes you were about
I
to
was about
slam
to
down.
go.
Yeah.
All right, we should probably kick it to Brian, our amazing producer. Brian, why don't you tell us all about The Matrix Reloaded when you roll that beautiful bean fun fact footage?
Thank you, gentlemen. Producer Brian here. And today we're trying to fix the first Matrix sequel, 2003's The Matrix Reloaded. But before we get to the movie, I do want to say a few things about pleases and thank yous. I agree that the please and thank you nature of the New York City tri-state area can be assumed as implied, but I would say that the please and thank you thing is something that Jay pointed out to me once when we first met, and we talked about the differences of being from the Northeast and from the Midwest, but that is all he remembers forever. I do say thank you all the time, and I make a point to say it to everybody so that they know just how much they've helped and how appreciated they are. Work, family, friends. It's very important to me in a world that doesn't say enough thank yous. I literally start this segment with a thank you, gentlemen, every week. I will admit that I don't say please as often because my please is a nicely said, like, would you mind, instead of a straight up please. However, I'd like to thank you two, gentlemen, for everything you do and helping me to make this the best podcast ever. Thank you. Okay, Matrix Reloaded time. Directed by the Wachowskis and starring Keanu, Carrie, Lawrence, Hugh, and Jada, this movie made $741.8 million on a $150 million budget. Here are some fun bean facts. Warner Brothers launched ESC Entertainment in order to develop the tech for this movie's special effects needs. A 1.5-mile freeway was built on a decommissioned Naval Air Station in California to film the car chase sequence. General Motors donated over 300 cars to be destroyed for the sake of art. And if you care, this has a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Anyway, back to you, gentlemen. Thanks for letting me say my fun facts and have a good time with your fixes, please.
Wonderful, Brian.
Thanks, Tank.
Thanks, Tank. Click clack.
I now know how to fly a helicopter.
And I know how to properly field dress a stuffed unicorn.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every part of the unicorn, Jay.
Every part of the unicorn, especially when they're stuffies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to know what you're doing because all the stuff goes everywhere.
It's
you know,
true.
all
There's
that
a lot of
stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of goes everywhere. It's true.
I went stuffed animal because I said field dress, and I was like, well, now we're talking about killing animals.
Yeah.
That's not really where I wanted to be.
No.
That's not really. That's not the meme. Don't meme. Don't meme. I guess we should probably, since we're in like the, because I am just gonna start talking.
Yeah,
I am just gonna go.
Yeah.
We should probably
I
plot
can
drop
sense the
this
energy
thing.
in the room of like, oh boy, Jay wants to talk, and
Really?
Adam's gonna patiently listen.
Adam, why don't you tell everybody who maybe has not seen the Matrix Reloaded film in a while, because we didn't actually do this watch along.
We did not.
We watched along the original Matrix because I was more interested in kind of a little bit more fixing a sequel with freshly driven snow.
Oh yeah, we're straight up rewriting
Because the main sin of the Matrix Reloaded is that like it just missed the marks. Like the first one teed it up so hard.
Yes.
And the second one just missed the mark so hard. So we watched the Teeb. And if you haven't joined the preview Discord, maybe join the preview Discord. It's if you're looking for your own internet best friends, it's a perfect place to find them. Mm-hmm. And also every Wednesday night we do a watch along of whatever we're fixing that week, or if it's something we can't really watch, we watch something fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's a great time to hang out with folks and meet people, and there's a lot going on there. So check it out. But Adam, why don't you tell people about The Matrix Reloaded?
All right.
In everyone's favorite segment, Pull-Lot Drop.
I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible and leave
Yeah.
out a lot of minute details.
Yes.
Because there's just too many details in this movie. The main thrust of this plot is it's 6 months after the events of the first movie.
Yes.
A bunch of captains are meeting somewhere in the Matrix and are like, oh my god, there's a bunch of Sentinels drilling down to Zion. We have 72 hours. until they are able to break through our defenses and kill everybody in Zion.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
And good for them for starting a ticking clock.
Ticking clock. So no one knows what to do, so they go back to Zion and have a giant orgy in a cave. It's really weird.
Yeah, man.
And then they go talk to the Oracle, and she gives a bunch of like mumbo jumbo of prophecy stuff of like cycles and blah blah blah, blah stuff, and find the Keymaster and MacGuffin hunts, and you'll find stuff that may be helpful you to do the thing to save everybody. So then we have a really cool fight scene. And then they go talk to the Merovingian, who is, and in real life, the Merovingians were people who ruled France for a time way back in the past. So he's like, I have been here through your predecessors, the One.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God. Yeah, we're old programs. We live in the Matrix. We've done this before. We'll do it again. You are not a big deal. You are not a big deal as you think you are. But the Merovingian has the Keymaster, or the Key maker or something like that. Who's the Oracle said, you gotta find this guy. So they go and find a way to infiltrate the Merovingians' base to get the Keymaster. Another cool fight scene. They find the Keymaster. It's the chase scene Jay alluded to earlier. It's super cool.
It's incredible.
But like,
it's really incredible, but it doesn't.
We don't know what
it doesn't. We don't really know what's going on.
No, and they like do like backdoor. There's a lot of internet speak in this thing. It's like, oh, the back doors and the back channels and all sorts. Like,
but they will do that, but they don't want to. They don't want to identify a program for what it actually is.
Yeah,
like the Merovingian. I'm like, cool, you're a program. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
Like what's
going on? What is it? How
if we're working inside of this system, what part of the system are you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. So eventually Neo gets back from the fight with the Merovingian to save a couple people from the fight on the chase scene. They get the Keymaker. They go to a building. The Keymaker has a key for a special door that opens up. It's all white light. Neo goes in and meets the Architect.
Yeah.
The Architect is the guy who created the Matrix.
Yeah.
And at this point, things start getting really, really weird.
Yeah.
Because the next couple of scenes and the rest of the movie is just really freaking heady and philosophical and just, what is going on? Please talk plainly so we can understand the world you're building. No? Well, you're losing all of us.
Yeah.
But apparently, this is the 7th iteration of the Matrix.
Yeah.
They have done this 6 previous times. The One has shown up 6 previous times. And the way the cycle works is when the One shows up, it's like, oh, it's time to reboot the Matrix. The One is given a choice. Save the person you love, or we're going to start over Zion because we're going to go kill everybody. Pick, 11 people out of the people that live in Zion, and we'll just use their genetic code to start a new batch of humans and the next version of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Every time beforehand, the One is always picked to save humanity. This time, Neo's like, F that, I'm saving Trinity. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, also, the whole bad guy, the whole movie I completely missed because, everything else is so crazy. Agent Smith survived the events of the first movie, and because he got blowed up and was sent to be recycled or reprogrammed or whatever, he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to go. But somehow Neo's code infected him, so now he's trying to infect everyone in the Matrix. He's just replicating himself. Basically, he's a virus now, trying to infect the entire Matrix, and he infected a human who was in the Matrix, and then erased his consciousness or being, and now
took over his
his consciousness. So now Agent Smith is in the real world. In the meat space,
which is something that technically makes sense because they're taking meat people and putting them in the internet, so it going in reverse isn't that
not that crazy,
but it just for some reason feels weird.
So there's a huge fight at the end, and then all of a sudden, oh boy, we need to get out of here because Neo chose the other way, and now the Matrix is in trouble, and the machines are like, wait, he chose the other way? What? That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And so they get out of they jack out of the Matrix, and then a bunch of Sentinels are about to show up and destroy the Nebuchadnezzar, and I think they do actually destroy the Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
And
They're
the
heading to Zion.
and yes, and they are the fleet was about to stop the Sentinels drilling in, but somebody launched an EMP attack too early and disabled all the ships defending Zion, which happened to be Agent Smith in the meat space, sabotaged the entire fleet, and he was the only survivor. And so he shows up with the Nebuchadnezzar right after it's destroyed, and the Sentinels are about to kill everybody, and then all of a sudden, Neo is able to control the Sentinels in meat space, and stops and kills them, and then goes into a coma.
Yeah.
And so it's just him and Agent Smith inside a human body, laying on two tables next to each other as the movie ends. Bum, bum, bum. It's never explained how Neo has these powers in the real world, but it's dumb. Yeah. So the movie goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Movie goes off the rails as soon as the fetch quest. As soon as the fetch quest starts, as soon as the MacGuffin hunt starts, we are off the rails. What is happening? Why is this happening? You're making this too complicated.
Yeah.
We're just being a computer program. We're gonna free people. At no point, the last line of the first movie is like, "We're gonna free everybody," and then in this movie, they're not attempting to do that.
Yeah.
It's been 6 months, and they've made no progress on freeing everybody. So.
Yeah. Matrix Reloaded.
Matrix Reloaded.
That's been plot drop.
We'll
Good
see
job.
you there for episode 3. Or yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it really comes down to.
Okay, Jay. Here we go.
Okay.
Strap in, everybody.
I had a lot of Matrix thoughts.
Take your butt shut.
I think fundamentally the concept of freeing everyone from the Matrix, I don't think that Zion has the infrastructure to make it happen. Because in the Matrix, they set up that Neo needs so much work on his muscular system and teach his body how to work again that I don't think it's fundamentally feasible to free everyone from the Matrix.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know what the end game here is in that, like, cool, we're going to destroy the Matrix. Great. So you just have to just a bunch of
pod people.
Just a bunch of pod people around. And what are we supposed to do with them? I'm not 100% sure. Another thing before we actually get into this movie, and we just talked about this earlier, and it is truly, as someone who loves the Matrix.
Yes.
Loves the Matrix.
She loves the Matrix.
It is a thought that has undermined my love of this franchise to such a degree, and it's a pretty benign thing to observe. But once you think about it, you'll never look at these movies quite the same, in my opinion, and you might not think they're as cool, is that no one makes them dress the way they do. There is a total vibe to everyone when they're in the Matrix. It seems like they're all on the same page.
They are.
But we're also told in the first movie that you can kind of just make it whatever you want it to be because it's kind of how you project your mind.
Yep.
Why do they all kind of project the, like, are we going to a rave? Are we lawyers? I'm not sure. Like, why are they all dressing like they sell ecstasy on the side? Like, why do they all dress like that?
Because they're all hackers, Jay.
Like, it doesn't make. There's no one showed up. Like, no one from like the Zion team like showed up was just like, hey, I worked at Best Buy and I really liked my job, so I have a Best Buy uniform.
I like good
Let's
and blue.
go fight Agent Smith. You know what I mean? Like, no one just showed up in like jeans and a t-shirt and was like, I can fight too. And they're like, get out of here. You don't have,
no pleather on. What are you doing?
Oh, your hair is in a weird color and or shape, and you're not wearing just all leather. What are you doing here, Craig? Get out of here. It really blows my mind that, like, and all the people who are like all the programs and stuff, I think the Oracle has it right. That she's just like, hey, I'm just making cookies in the kitchen and I'm wearing just dress because it's comfortable. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is so, like, who are you guys trying to impress the whole time? You can wear whatever you want. really has upset me.
I know. You just want your colorful flag to fly, and this movie is the color palette is pretty much green and black.
Oh, you and I both know I would look cool if I got into Matrix get up. I'd have like a.
Yeah, we've seen you in Matrix get up.
No, yeah, like no, that
we
was
we saw Morpheus. Sorry, we saw
Morpheus.
Morpheus.
That's
Yes, he looked very similar to you.
He's a family friend. But I think no. What would your Matrix get up look like? Like what would you? Just get. You just dress like Neo the whole time,
dude. That half kilt that he wore in Reloaded, was the hotness.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like tight upper top, yeah, like he's wearing in this picture.
Yeah,
right here.
it looks awesome. Jet Li wore it better, but but not much better.
Half kilt on the bottom. My God, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love a good kilt.
Yeah. I think I would have like a cool like leather coat duster situation, but I have like a hoodie on underneath it. You know, like the Capaldi like.
Sure, yeah, the Capaldi look.
Hood
Yeah,
down
I'm with
kind
you.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I'd have my signature hat, but I'd have like big goggles on it.
You've absolutely
like
have
big, and I could like
goggles,
slap them down and be like, "Let's kill some programs."
Yeah. Clickety clackety.
Control Alt Delete.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no one makes me dress like that.
Nope.
And
all in free will.
They all clearly have a whole vibe. I feel like the first Matrix, they should have had a meeting, be like, "Look, when we go to the Matrix, we're gonna look cool, and here's what cool is."
Well, didn't
Like,
Switch
we're a
wear
gang.
white in the first one?
Yeah, but Switch wore white,
not
but
like this.
But it was
Not like
still,
this.
but it
was cool white.
Yeah, but it was the same vibe.
Sure, but in white,
Yeah, the same vibe.
but different color.
I understand, but black and white are not. It's not. That's not really all the colors of the rainbow. I'm just saying, I want my Matrix like I want my Fortnite. Like I want to show up like a chaos unicorn and just
clack.
Yeah.
Just get in there, make a mess.
yeah, and it's cool. Yeah, I've been disillusioning myself to the Matrix. I still love it in my heart.
Oh yeah,
But like during during the bank lobby scene, arguably the most influential action scene ever put to film. Probably,
Yep,
I think.
pretty much, yeah.
Like we're still talking about it.
Changed the game.
It just there's no reasons for them to be doing all of the cartwheels. There's no reason.
But it was awesome.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But it's like the movement version of their outfits. It's like this is unnecessary. I appreciate it.
But they're bending physics, Jay. They can't break it yet, but they are bending.
I
it.
just feel like they're making themselves a bigger target for all them bullets.
Possibly.
You know what I'm saying? And also, if you can just run up walls, just like, why didn't they just walk in on the ceiling and just waste everybody and then move on?
That's a very good point.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you have all the aspects, all the colors of the rainbow, why not?
Taste it.
Yeah. But Matrix Reloaded. It has a fundamental respect for this world, and it takes itself really seriously.
Too seriously.
Yes. I think that's what it is. I think that's it.
They delved too deeply into the psychology of all of the things, and they kept trying to make it too heady.
Yeah.
And I think they
giddily
Wachowskis
ran
went
down that rabbit hole and expected us to keep up with them, and we just couldn't.
Nope. Because the first movie was easy. It's a Jesus allegory. Got it. Nailed it. You guys did a fantastic job with it.
Sure.
Just well done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Neat.
More of that, please.
Yeah,
And
sounds
they're
great.
like, okay, so here's a philosophy 101. Here we go. Free will versus, destiny. But okay. Well, I mean, okay, I'm with you. We're a little bit sure, but now we're just talking in codes and the Oracle and then the Key Master and Merovingian, the Architect, and what's going on? This world isn't expanding. It's just getting up its own butt. I don't.
Yeah.
Yep. The fight scenes are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
They pushed a little bit of technology with that fight scene with like 100 Smiths.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But also we don't care.
Yeah, not at all.
Like it's
Because Agent Smith wasn't a character.
and that worked in the first movie.
Yeah.
That menace is
Because they were fighting against the system. And now Neo is like, oh no, Neo can just flex the system into any shape that he wants. And he does not do that.
Yes. He flies in the end of the first movie. And it's why he's not just doing that everywhere.
Yeah.
At least that the fourth movie had the common decency to be like, you know what? We don't have to do any of this. Ha ha! And I'm like, oh yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And as much as people found the fourth movie frustrating, I actually appreciated.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah,
I appreciated how it
Meta
was.
they went with it.
Yeah, it's like textbook, like how to give 0 Fs and still give a great movie.
Granted, I haven't watched it since,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I remember we watched it together. We really liked it when we first watched it.
yeah. And also in this movie, I would posit this movie. For me, I check out as soon as the Zion orgy starts. I'm like, oh, this isn't what I came for at all. This is not why I showed up to this movie at all.
Nope.
And I understand what they're going for.
What were they going for?
I mean, it's it's just to show humanity. It's like, oh, the world's gonna end. Like, honestly, maybe I don't know what they were going for, but the Trinity and Neo sex scene is the worst sex scene in any movie. It sucks.
It's really bad.
It's not awesome.
They don't have the best chemistry.
They don't have the best chemistry. And I think it actually speaks to the performance of Trinity that makes her pop so much in the first movie, is that Trinity, and I think this was on purpose, I'm not sure, but her performance strikes me as that, like, maybe we're supposed to think she's a program the whole time.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Sure.
There is a purposeful detachment to all of her decisions and movements, and even Morpheus as well. Like, the guy is stone faced the entire time, and there's like, they've created a world in which chemistry doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like when it comes to personal relationships, these movies tell and don't show a lot.
Yes.
Like, they tell us people care about other people, but you don't feel the link. And I feel like that is the kind of, in the first movie, it works because I think it's a commentary on that, like, the internet is dividing us, and like, yeah, people can't be close because we're not really even here. And like, what does that mean? And then they try to force a love story on us. That just, I never bought it. Like, I never bought it.
No.
Like, we get to the end of this movie and Neo's like, I'm gonna save Trinity, and I was like, I don't think I would have made that call.
Really?
If I were him, and given what has led up to that, I'm not sure. It just doesn't seem right for the character.
It's only been 6 months. They knew each other in the Matrix for just a couple weeks, maybe.
Sure. Well, however long it took for them to rebuild Morpheus or Neo's
body
and
train him, probably a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's only like a couple thousand humans around, so like, slim pickings. You find a hottie, you got some, at least a little chemistry. You gotta stake your claim, right? You can't always just go. You can't always just go to the girl with the red dress, right?
I really wanted to leave you completely hanging on that.
Oh, I'll keep going. Jay. I feel very safe on this branch. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna slow down. I'm gonna fly away. I'm just gonna do my Superman thing.
Yeah, man. The rules don't apply to me. No big deal.
Away.
Yeah. It's. I think they created a really interesting, like, hero's journey in this movie that just gets so completely it just gets so disjointed. And I think in the first movie, when the Oracle tells him that he's not the one, it's the most confusing choice in any franchise ever, because it sets up the question as to, is he? What is it? I'm not sure.
She says, well, not in this life, kid.
I understand, but it would have
maybe in the next life.
Would it have killed him to have some kind of flashback when he comes back? Because it's in
to hear the echo of her words,
yes,
and be like, see, we did actually say it.
Yeah, would it have killed him? Because it's an aside. It's something. It's a throwaway line.
I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. It's not. You've set up this grandiose story with all these, and everything has deep, rich meaning.
The script is tight. It's extremely tight in the first movie.
Everything is so meaningful, and then like the ending is kind of a technicality, and then throughout this second movie, the whole time everyone's just like, "You're the one," and I'm like, "But is he? Like, we're not totally. We don't. What is that? But what does that mean?"
Now, and Brian may have mentioned this in his Bean Facts, but I think I remember, because right around when the sequels were being made, it was when I was starting to like really pay attention to entertainment news. Like, I need to know everything about these movies being made, because I needed to look. Oh my, and the internet is nascent at that point, so there's barely any information
It's
out
hard.
there.
It's still hard. You still had to buy an Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
Print media. Those are the days.
Remember the days?
Remember?
I feel like there was an original plan for the sequels of having somebody like be an anti-Neo, an anti-Christ figure to Neo's Christ figure. But because for whatever reasons behind the scenes, or maybe the studio or actors' schedules or anything like that, they couldn't quite go with that story, so they do the Agent Smith stuff.
Yeah.
But
Because also that performance was so iconic.
Oh yeah, Hugo
that
Weaving was amazing.
they had to lean into it, I feel like.
But the problem with Neo in these sequels is like they don't know what to do with him.
No.
Because it's like he gained ultimate power at the end of the first one. Well, how do we challenge that power going forward? We can't do it physically or inside of the Matrix because he can just, flex it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll do it psychologically. Cool. He doesn't have a superpower psychologically. Great.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. Ha-ha! Hey, that's not as entertaining. That's just the flavoring of a cool movie, not the actual. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to see everyone have sex in a giant cave?
Yeah.
For a couple minutes?
We're there for so long.
It's just,
And then you see
they just drop the beat.
Keanu Reeves' butt, and it's like
you see his butt.
just a lot of
butt.
And don't get me wrong, I want to be crystal clear. We love butts here at Previewed.
Pro butt?
We are pro butt. But it's just it's so not sexy. It's like
You know what it is?
it looks like they're both being embalmed. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it looks clinical.
Wow. Yeah, no, it is the Scott and Hope relationship in the Ant-Man films.
Yeah.
It's like, they could, these actors could have chemistry with each other if they actually gave them enough time on screen to have chemistry with each other.
They just don't.
They're talented actors. They could do it. They just, they're just like, they love each other.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They do, aren't they? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we love The Matrix. But, these movies just kind of gave us some really cool fight scenes.
Yeah.
And also a headache trying to keep up with what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
Jay, I think it's time to fix it.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Are you going
the more we
first,
talked about it, the
Senor?
more sad I got.
That's okay, bud.
I love The Matrix, man. But why nobody makes them dress like that? They don't have to.
So, when you start talking, I expect to hear in detail how everyone dresses differently.
No,
in
we
your
got to
movie.
keep the vibe.
Oh, okay.
That's the brand. We're not.
Neo is all about freeing people's minds. So maybe.
Yeah, but that is what it is. Like, there's no changing that.
Okay.
There's no changing that.
Okay.
I did not put Craig from Best Buy in my Matrix.
I'm
thing.
here too, guys.
Woo! Okay, so let's fix it. My Matrix Reloaded fix opens with Neo very, very aggressively fighting Agent Smith.
Oh.
We are opening in the middle of a knockdown, drag out fight.
So this is a new fight.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not sure where they are. We're not sure why they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it is pretty much on the ropes. And it gets to a point where Agent Smith is about to absolutely murder Neo. And he kind of does his one thing, sees the code, and defeats Agent Smith. And then the camera pans out and we see Morpheus, Trinity, and Tank watching what's happening and we see that Neo is like in a program.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically observing him to try to figure out what's happening with him in order for him to do, and they can't understand it.
What's making him different from them in order to be the one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tank is like, I don't understand. I don't understand this code. It looks like this code is writing itself. I don't know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what the oneness is. I can we know he is,
Right.
but I fundamentally can't understand this.
Mm-hmm.
He is seeing the Matrix in a way that I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get news from the bridge that the Nebuchadnezzar is within hailing distance of Zion.
Just in time for the orgy. Cool.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping the origin. So we get to Zion, and this is kind of like relatively soon after the first movie.
Okay.
I like to think that we are dealing, because I want to spend a little time in Zion.
Yes, it's
I
important.
want to show the world a little bit. I want to show the structure of the world.
We got to
That's one
expand
thing
it.
that I appreciated about the fourth movie, because we actually got to live there for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. Hey, this is what's going on in meat space now. Yeah.
And I think we get to a Zion, and we learn that Morpheus has always been our big boss man, and we kind of learn where Morpheus kind of fits in
The hierarchy.
in the
of things.
hierarchy of things, and it's not as high as we think. And so we get a good amount of time in which Morpheus is trying to explain to everyone at Zion that he has indeed found the one. They don't necessarily believe him.
Right.
And so some of the higher ups, in order to prove, they're like, we need to go to the Oracle in order to find this out.
Okay.
And so we get two of the like kind of like leader people go into the Matrix with Morpheus, and they make their way to the Oracle. But having in meeting with the Oracle again, there is an issue with the Oracle. They're having a meeting, and then there's some kind of like, it seems like a deja vu situation.
Yes.
There's like a rewrite in the Matrix or something. There's like a flip switches, and the Oracle is aware of it. And the Oracle almost like forgets about what they're talking about mid-sentence
Oh.
and plays it off.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And she wants to have a private meeting with Morpheus and Neo after everything is done. She's already confirmed with they're like, okay, this changes things. Like, this might up the timeline of like what we're thinking.
Okay.
And so, and because the leaders are exposed in the Matrix, they go
We gotta get out
pretty
of here.
quickly and get out of. They're like, we need to get out of here. You guys can meet up with the Oracle, and the Oracle sits down with Neo and Morpheus and Trinity, because why not?
Sure.
And she says, the second part of that conversation, I didn't know what we were talking about. I remember starting the conversation, understanding what we were talking about. Ending that conversation, I don't even know what we're talking about. I barely remember who you people are. Someone has been altering with
Someone's messing with me.
someone's been messing with my programming, and I'm not sure what that means. She's like, I thought I had protected myself from any outside editing, but someone figured out how to edit me.
Someone found me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are gonna have to go talk to the registry about.
Ooh,
They're the only.
Okay.
They're the only person that could possibly know. They know where everyone is at most times, and they will be able to tell you who was here. And so at that point, they leave the Oracle, and they realize that they have to find the registry. Upon doing research in Zion and figuring out where that is, they realize that the registry is in a different part of is in a part of the Matrix that they're going to have to travel to.
Sure.
And it is infested with machines. Like it is a heavily guarded like machine fortress.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So we get a little bit of a heist action because that's one thing I liked is that like we have to get the Nebuchadnezzar close enough to like reach the Oracle, and I was like, that's interesting. Like the fidelity of space in trying to get to certain places of the Matrix
Signal depth.
online,
Yeah.
like that's interesting to me. And they're like, in order to get to the registry, you are not going to have there's not going to be any signal, like a signal distance. You are going to have to like hardline into this mainframe. And so we give them an obstacle in order to get over.
Yep.
And they figure out a way, like the people of Zion have figured out a way to basically mask the signal of a hovercraft and from like machine parts that they've gathered from like defeating machines.
Cool.
They're like, we have it, like we've given you the ability to like mask the signal of this thing. They're going to think you are a machine. So like they may behave weirdly around you. Like you just need to like play ball, and you're gonna have to like make sure all of this stuff keeps running in order for you guys to remain cloaked, so you guys can get into the registry. Now, once they hack into that mainframe, it's very similar to what was the French word? What is it even called?
The Merovingian?
The Merovingian. It's terrible. It's terrible. Just call him the Duke or the Earl, something.
The Merovingian.
The Merovingian. That's where they lose.
This is a very highbrow,
That's where they
Jay.
completely lose.
The Merovingian.
It's a similar vibe, but they have to basically fight their way into in the Matrix to this stronghold. Like they're like, well, the easy part was the machines, but now we're gonna have to like actually fight our way through here.
Right.
So we get some cool action and some cool butt kicking inside the Matrix.
Hell yeah.
And isn't that great?
It's always great.
And they meet with the registry, and we learn a lot. We get a big lore dump, much like the Merovingian in the original movie, but we get a big lore dump about this Matrix, and we get a little bit more of the political, and this is something they do in some of the like, you know, extra reading of the Matrix and some of the like sideshows and stuff.
Like the Animatrix?
The Animatrix and in the
game?
MMORPG too.
never
We get a
played
little
that,
bit
yeah.
more of the political ramifications of what's going on with the machines and what and how they're utilizing their own matrices and things like that. And we learn that the why can't I think of the word anymore? The registry.
Registry.
We learn from the registry that our matrix is, from a software perspective, is a little bit more old-fashioned.
Okay.
And there are certain they were like, this, we have we're in the most stable of matrices and one of the most like consistent matrices, but there are aspects of the way that they deal with the human condition that make programming extraordinarily tricky. Like there are other matrices out there that they basically keep people in like some kind of like permanent stasis or a hellscape, and they're like, I mean, the people run really hot, but they burn through people really quickly, and so like this. We are in a position, the registry is like, I have this information, but I am worried that me giving you this information is going to lead to a situation in which they are going to swap programming and I will cease to exist.
Ooh. Yep.
I understand you're the one. We've had ones before. That doesn't change anything about I think the line is like I understand you're the one. You have to know that you're part of the status quo. You have to know that. And so he basically is like, there are a lot of aspects of what's going on in the Matrix that need to be dealt with. First and foremost, Agent Smith is completely out of control. And he was like, I can look up the information of what happened to the Oracle. What I think is happening is that the Matrix is trying to edit out our friend, the agent. And maybe some people that he has been dealing with have been suffering the consequences of it. I think that might be what's happening. I don't know.
The agent or the Oracle?
They're trying to rein in Agent Smith.
Yes.
And other things are getting changed because of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
I need you to... What I need you to do is, I need you to deal with Agent Smith. And they're like, he can't, like in the Matrix, like we can't really kill him. Like he keeps swapping bodies and things like that. He's like, oh, I need you to remove him from the Matrix. They're like, what? And he's like, he's like, I know where your ship is. I let you come here. He's like, all that fun stuff you have in there, that's cute. I let this happen. You don't understand. We as machines are working on a completely different playing field. So and what you don't realize about these squids is that they have the amount of processing power dwarfs what this Matrix is capable of. Every single one of these machines is 1,000 times smarter than all of these humans linked together. So I'm going to give you, he gifts them a squid like brain, and I really love the shot of the like squid coming into the Nebuchadnezzar and then like pseudo self-destructing, like and they're like freaked out the entire time, and it's just it's the registry inside the squid brain the whole time, kind of talking to them.
Hey, everybody.
Aha! Like and then like all the tentacles fall off, and it's just like the head sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you are gonna have to figure out a way to trap Agent Smith inside this device. It will be, once he is in here, he will be harmless. But he needs to be removed from the Matrix, and the powers that be are this close from just being done with this. So if like we're gonna have to take it upon ourselves to deal with this problem, because they can't, and they're just ready to be done. Because like it's not just because there's a one. He's like,
We've done this before.
And so so basically what they leave, they go back to Zion. They figure out a plan to isolate Agent Smith. We get a particularly epic fight and chase scene.
Sure.
Like to end all fights and chase scenes.
Of course.
And it's Agent Smith. It's Agent Smith like swapping bodies over and over again, and that's clearly like the fly in the ointment of trying to like isolate him in order to do this. And so in order for him to get out of range of swapping into other bodies, it gets to a point where Neo grabs Agent Smith and takes off. And he basically flies him off into the wilderness, where
from other people,
our programming creators have basically hacked into this system and built basically they have built a small Nebuchadnezzar in the Matrix, and they put him in the Nebuchadnezzar in the one that's in the Matrix, and log him into the Matrix, into the machine brain.
Yeah.
So it's
Someone
like a
watched
Matrix.
a lot of Star Trek.
It's a Matrix in the Matrix.
Oh,
kind of thing.
yeah. This is a holodeck. I gotcha. Yeah. Holodeck episode. Yeah.
But it's I think we learned that it's like, well, we have to have like in order for us to create in the Matrix, it takes like, we have to have like a really firm. We can create whatever we want in our own little side projects.
Sure.
But in order to create in the actual Matrix, like we have to go in like as like what we know and who we are. So they have captured Agent Smith, and we are going back to we go back to Zion, and then we get they've described like what's happened, like what the deal with the registry is and things like that, and then it becomes a little bit more of a political struggle.
Oh, okay. So this is like now is this like Act 3 or like the end of this is the denouement?
We're not anywhere close to. We're
still in Act 2?
We're in Act 2.
Oh crap. Okay.
We find out that we get like a very large political struggle, because now that we know how to capture like rogue, like sentient, now that we know how to capture the
programs.
programs, we don't necessarily need to like give agents like there's the amount of like ramifications of what we would be able to do in the Matrix now. It's like, and also they acknowledge that freeing everyone from the Matrix isn't really the solution that we all think it is. Like from an infrastructure problem, it's like, but also, you know, we can free as many as we can, but if they want to delete the Matrix, like, let them do it. And it comes down to, and eventually and these are all different points. So we get all the philosophies of
right.
like what's like how to deal with this issue. And eventually the head just starts hovering in the middle of this big meeting, and it's Agent Smith inside of the monster head. And I like the idea of the shot of, we get a small Hugo Weaving like inside of like, you know, a small room, like pulling switches and stuff.
Sure.
And it's just like, hey guys, I have let the machines know where you guys are. So thanks for bringing me here. Maybe that was the plan the whole time. But here I am.
Hi.
So you guys have basically a day to get right with this, or you're gonna have to like. And so Morpheus and they're like, great. Well, we have a prime directive right now. Like, and they get a lot of flack from Zion being like, you're abandoning Zion right now. He's like, look, we said we'd bring this back. Maybe they'll be able to help us. So they have to like basically like fight their way back to the registry and give him Agent Smith. And he's like, awesome. I did some, it's not a double cross. He's like, great. I figured out maybe what would have happened. You're probably going to want to talk. I'm going to have to probably like kick this upstairs a little bit. And they get get access to the what's his name?
Architect?
The architect. Basically, like they are given permission to visit the architect. And it's a similar conversation that happens in the movie, and he's like, cool. He's like, thank you for dealing with Agent Smith. That was like kind of a
cool
problem.
of you. Yeah.
Kind of a problem. The machines are going to Zion and are going to destroy it. He was like, I don't necessarily want to do that. He was like, because like the ebb and flow of this system, like you guys are kind of a release valve. Like people are going to figure it out, and we want to give them the ability to see that through. Because people going insane in the Matrix and hurting other people, and then we just lose more people that way.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose one than lose 5.
Sure, that makes sense.
And he's like, so I can stop this from happening, or I can let this happen, and I can just like, or we can just start again. He's like, Zion isn't perfect. But, like, if you guys wanted to start your own Zion, like, I'm more than happy to let you guys pick and choose. Or if you'd like to come back to the Matrix, that's fine, too. The decision's yours. And Neo has a very, like, specific moment with, it's basically a red pill, blue pill situation.
Sure.
And Neo's like, I've been given I've been given the red pill and the blue pill before. And he's like, I'm picking neither.
Ooh.
And Neo, we switch to like Neo's point of view, and he sees the code of the architect.
Sure.
And he punches him in the chest. His hand goes like fully in him, and he like he finds like the Oracle's code and pulls it out.
Okay.
And it's a situation where they rush back to and he's basically like holding the code like in his essence.
Sure.
Like he adds the code to his own.
Yes.
And they're rushing back to Zion to stop the robots. And there's like Neo like completely passes out and is like unconscious again in the Nebuchadnezzar, like he always is.
Yep.
And there is a moment where they reach they reach Zion just as the robots are getting there, and an unconscious Neo, like his hand raises, and the machines, as they're coming in, you see like a light flash between them. And as we can see it in the shot, like we saw Hugo Weaving in the thing, it's just Neo running from machine to machine, like basically like changing their code, and sending them away. And then everyone in Zion is like, "Oh, Neo's the one." That's kind of like the big moment at the end of the movie. But the denouement of this movie is that they return the code to the Oracle. And it gets to a point where they're like the big twist of the movie is that the Oracle is sitting there with Neo and they're kind of having a conversation. They talk about like, "Hey, you said I wasn't the one," and then I kind of was. And she was like, "You brought back a lot more of my code than I thought you were going to." Huh. Yeah, that track. This hasn't happened before.
Oh.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh, all of this stuff, like you having to go and get all this stuff for me, like this is part of the One Protocol." And he's like, "The One Protocol?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's like the breadcrumbs that we put out for people who figure out how to do what you do, so they feel special, and that no one figures out that pretty much everyone can do this." And Neo goes, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, you're not the one. You're the first of many." And then we get blackout. And we realize that, and I think it's sprinkled through the thing that like the one, in order to maintain a matrix that can, that has longevity, is that you have to accept the unpredictability of the human mind.
Sure.
And that we've been trying, and I think that's part of the conversation with the architect. It's like we've been trying to breed that out of humans, but it just doesn't seem to go away.
So obstinate.
And it's like we don't want to rely on these other ones because honestly, they're barbaric in comparison. And I know that's how that sounds. But basically, we're setting up a world in which anyone can do what Neo can do in the Matrix. Like he is not special in a very special way.
Yep.
And so I think and that leans more into the Christ allegory, and that what was revolutionary about Christ was not how he was. It was how he asked people to also be like him. It was just like, "Hey, yeah, I'm the Son of God and stuff," and like, but also this is just really about loving people.
Yeah.
And you can do that.
Just do unto others, man.
That's it.
Just follow my example.
Just take care of each other.
Yeah. We're all in this together, everybody.
And so in Matrix Revolutions, the revolution is people.
Well, wait a second.
Oh, I know. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that yet. But I'm saying
our own. By the way, we're doing a third movie. Not now, but like we're going
movie.
to continue these stories in another episode.
Yeah. So the whole movie is. I wanted to spend some. I want to see the political struggles of Zion. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to see some more. I wanted to see some squid situations, but also like in the fourth one, it's fun. I really thought about the fourth one a lot because I really liked it. Like you get really up close and personal with like the actual mechanism of the Matrix, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my Matrix Reloaded.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was cool. We have some similar themes.
I'm sure we do. This whole thing is very allegorical.
Yes, but even though we have some similar things, we definitely went in two very different directions.
Interesting.
Yes. So here is my Matrix Reloaded. Okay. So we're pretty much starting off the same way as the normal movie does. We're going to see Morpheus and Trinity at like street level. We're going to get the status quo of the Matrix, right? It's probably been already about a year or so.
Okay.
And we're going to discover as they're kind of walking down the street, kind of having a cool conversation, how we're like the Matrix has changed. Like they've been very successful.
Yeah.
Like Neo's flying around doing Superman stuff, like being the one and kicking a bunch of people's asses.
Yeah.
Like people are believing left and right. Like they're getting people out of the Matrix all over the place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you can see that, like, oh, there is a lot less people here. And also, you can see the machines have kind of put up propaganda. This is all like background stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like there's posters and things on the wall, or maybe like a newscasts in a window because there's TVs in front of the window.
Yeah. TVs in stores showing the news, like how it always is.
City news. Oh, those bad. There's people are stealing your loved ones.
Yeah, but
they're disappearing.
Yeah.
Like,
but all the actual
Newscasters?
all the propaganda and stuff is like really like, cybercore and like, oh yeah, man, free your mind, like graffiti and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas the news are like, these people are stealing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
It's back and forth. There's a propaganda battle going on in the Matrix right now. So we're gonna kind of see street level, kind of what's going on, a little show don't tell, and then we're gonna tell a lot because they're gonna go into a meeting like with the captains and stuff, and like we're gonna see a division among the ranks right now of like, hey, we need to stop. This has been too successful.
Oh.
Zion, like you said,
Is
does not have the
overcrowded.
infrastructure for all these people.
Because how you gonna free all those people if you got to put all the little needles in them?
I completely
know
forgot
what I mean?
about the rehab part.
Yeah, dude.
Just the
Yeah,
physical.
dude.
We don't have the space.
They're like, oh, what about my muscles? It's like, you never used them before. I'm like, that's a hurdle. That's a hurdle for freeing people. Like, that's...
is.
You're telling me I got to do 6 months of PT in order to, like, join Zion? No.
So, they're just like, people are like, we got to free everybody. That's not fair to the people that are still here. We got to give them a choice. To the people like, we're not against giving people a choice, but like, guys, Zion's kind of full.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources. We don't know what we're doing. Because I want to set it up a little bit like like the Star Wars issue of
Yeah.
like, everyone had a plan to win.
Yeah.
No one had a plan
To rule.
To rule.
Yeah.
Also like Game of Thrones. Like it happens a bunch of times in stories. Like, great, you want to win, but like then what happens afterwards?
Yeah, dude.
Which is the story. I really also enjoy stories like, but what happens afterwards? Because like a whole other very interesting story can happen in the how the heck do we bring everybody together and like this so we don't like fall back into turmoil. We got to keep us together. Holy crap, what the heck? So that's where Zion kind of finds himself, and also that's where the Matrix kind of finds himself. So agents are going to show up to try to break this stuff up, and we're going to see Morpheus and Trinity do pretty well against these agents.
Okay.
Like, better than they did in the first movie.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, no, agent, I gotta go. Like, oh, cool, agents. Cool, I can test myself. And then eventually they're gonna, like, realize, okay, yeah, these guys have gotten some more upgrades. Neo, where are you? And Neo flies down. It's like, oh, yeah, these guys got upgrades. Oh, cool, but still not enough. And he's just wrecking shop. It's awesome. Everybody bounces back. Everyone leaves, and they go to Zion, and we see the situation in Zion. There's no orgy in a cave, but like we can see like
Oh, come on.
it's pretty full. Like
Yeah.
there's like where's everyone gonna stay?
Yeah.
We need resources. The machines they have is like kind of push to the limits. Like, oh boy, we didn't think this through. We're doing the right thing, but oh no, we are literally running out of space here.
Yeah.
Like we're in a cave, close as close as we can get to in the mantle of the earth. Like, guys, we don't have anywhere else to go. Like, we're out of space.
Yeah.
What do we do? We don't know. And so political infighting, all sorts of stuff happening. Like, Zion's not all right. But we're gonna flash back to the Matrix, and after we see Zion, like, we're gonna see the Matrix is also not all right because we're gonna go into like the deeper part of the Matrix and see the machines being like, we're not all right. Like, we're losing people, we're
Yeah.
losing power, and we can't grow these things fast enough. The revolution is kind of going against everything we've been working towards here.
Yeah.
We need to do something differently
Yeah.
because we have not had this before. Specifically, they say like this hasn't happened before. We don't, and like there's like we can have like a Merovingian kind of character, kind of like lodge a complaint to the powers that be to be like, hey, we're losing power in my villa and stuff like this. Like, guys, what are we even doing
Yeah.
here? Come on, can you
The
put a stop to
frame
this?
rate, the frame rate at my bathhouse is unacceptable.
Right. So we get to see some politics of inside the Matrix of the machines like dealing with this whole one issue.
Yeah.
And so we see the machines are worried.
Interesting.
And so we can even have like a shadow, like kind of like an architect. We're not going to reveal him yet, but like an architect-ish type character in shadow. But like clearly there's somebody that's kind of in charge.
Yeah.
but also we got agents and all sorts of it's kind of like the John Wick situation of we get to see their infrastructure.
Oh yeah,
but we don't know what the heck's going. Why are all these tattooed ladies doing stuff? What is happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, you just need to know that stuff's
it all
happening
makes
here.
sense, but I don't understand why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So end of Act 1. Everyone's
the John Wick the movies really do a good job of feeling lived in, but also totally mysterious. Yeah.
So the gang goes to see the Oracle for advice. And so eventually they're going to, we'll do pretty much the same thing. She's got a bodyguard now. He's super cool. They got to sneak away to find a new place to meet her. And so she talks about, this is all about cycles and upheaval. And she mentions that, you're your own worst enemy at this point. You've been too successful about stuff. About the whole, you planned to defeat the machines, but you didn't plan on what to do about afterwards. And they're you and the machines are actually a lot alike, or more alike than you realize. So you guys have competing goals, but you're kind of going about them in very similar fashions.
Yeah.
But the problem you guys are having is clearly Zion is full, and you guys need to find a new home.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you guys have mapped a bunch of what's going on down there, but you haven't mapped all of it, and we have. So I'm aware that there is somebody out there that can actually help you guys find more space.
Yeah.
So you need to go find because we kind of mapped the planet. So you got to go find the map maker, the cartographer or something like that, right?
Cartographer.
Cardiologist.
Cardiologist.
The cardiologist, yeah. Uh-huh. So at this point, a bunch of
gets to the heart of the issue.
He does get the heart of the issue, yeah. So at this point, you have a bunch of agents show up. And this is kind of be the big 100 agents Smiths versus Neo fight, but this time it's all different agents, and it's just there's a lot of agents here, and so Oracle bounces, and Neo's just what's going? This isn't just a fight.
Yeah,
they're after something. They're after me because they're not trying to beat him. They're trying to restrain him.
Yeah,
and not like a Neo thing trying to stab him in the heart or whatever, try to absorb him. They're they're trying to get a part of him. And so eventually, through a really cool fight scene, they're going to eventually make him bleed. And Neo's able to find his way. Because they're also, remember in the first movie, because I'm glad we watched it last night, how they were able to change the building they were in to lock them in?
Yes.
They're going to do that.
Oh,
They're
cool.
going to kind of trap Neo in kind of a little bit of a dome. He has to fight these guys.
Yeah.
And eventually he's going to be able to figure out, I can also
do that. Yeah.
So I'm going to punch a hole because I can punch a hole. And is able to get out.
Because there is no dome.
There's no dome. But
There's no punch.
They cause him to bleed first. And that was all they needed. But Neo escapes. So Neo goes back and tells the gang about, we need to find a new home. We got to find the cardiologist. And we got to figure that out. Neo goes back. That's we need to tell Zion that we need to move.
Yeah.
We got to lead our people somewhere else. Because we got to get everybody out, but we can't stay in Zion, or not all of us can stay in Zion. We need to start a new settlement, or Zion 2 or whatever. We need to start moving stuff. So the agents return to that place we saw in the end of Act 1 with the architect type
Zion
character.
2, Back in the Habit.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. With Neo's blood.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get a big scene with technobabble and a bunch of different stuff, and maybe we got a shadowed guy still there, and it's okay, so here's the situation. We were not prepared for this.
Yeah.
We knew the one was coming, but we were not prepared for it. So we don't know why much like you, we don't understand how he's the one. We knew at some point this was going to happen just because of math, and we're very good at this, but we just don't know how, because we have Mr. Anderson's code that he was before.
Yes.
And we have it here. And none of this makes any sense. There's nothing in his code that would denote that he could do what he's doing. But now that we also have Neo's blood, maybe we can see the code that's somehow different between his old code and this code. Yeah. And so through technobabble and all stuff like that, they realize we can't combat him. So the only way we can stop this from propagating and getting everybody out and eventually maybe beating us in here, because we cannot let this matrix fail. It's very important that this matrix does not fail. It's really you can see a little bit of concern of this matrix will not fail.
Yeah.
So we need to do something a little bit different. We can't, for whatever reason, he can beat all the agents. We can keep giving him upgrades, but he seems to be able to just keep beating them. So we're going to make our own Neo. So they use the code of Mr. Anderson, the code in the blood.
All right.
It can be a little bit different.
Yeah.
And machine code. And they're going to make their own
They
vision.
can rebuild him.
Yes, basically they're making vision.
Yeah.
So they're going to combine some stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then at the midpoint of Act 2, anti-Neo pops up.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Morpheus and the gang.
Is it just Keanu Reeves with a mustache?
You know what? I was thinking if it's Keanu Reeves again, it doesn't have to be. It could be, but I don't know. We could also just have a different actor.
Patrick Swayze.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
Why not?
Yeah. Get that Point Break back in there, you know?
Sure. Round 2.
Yeah, dude.
So the gang, our good guys, figure out to do a heist for the cardiologist.
Patrick Swayze is actually a good middle of the Venn diagram between Keanu Reeves and Hugo Weaving. That's not terrible. It's not terrible.
He is.
He could do worse.
So they figure out a plan to go into the.
Is he dressed real cool too?
At the moment, no, he's probably naked at the moment.
Oh,
We'll give him clothes.
because he came out of a tube.
He came out of tube. He's
Okay.
a tuber. So they anti-Neo. I don't have a better name for him at the moment, but so this machine Neo wakes up.
The negative one.
Sure, negative one.
Yeah. To
And
balance the scale.
they test him by sending agents at him to see if it's working and stuff like that. And instead of just kind of beating them down and stuff like Neo does, he's ripping right through their chests and absolutely obliterating these programs.
Yeah.
He's straight murking
He's
these
deleting the
programs.
code.
He's deleting the code.
Yeah.
They're like, well, okay, not what
Crap.
we thought was going to happen, but also not no, because
At least we're glad you work for us.
yes, exactly. So great, go. That seems to be working. You need to go find Neo. Who? Trust us. Just go find this guy. Okay. So meanwhile, back with our guys, they do the heist. They do heist stuff, but Neo can't be there because if Neo shows up with this thing, the machines will know something's going on and
Yeah.
send everybody. So you kind of need to distract them. So he's doing the Superman thing. He's flying around trying to keep their eye somewhere else besides the heist, and they're doing heisty stuff. It's all fun. It's a heist.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff. But then negative one shows up, and Neo's like, "Whoa!" Because he clocks it immediately. Like, what are you? I was like, "Who are you?" And so they start fighting, and so they're sparring, and it's nuts. Now, I don't want it to go as crazy because they're both flying at this point, but
Sure.
it's not as the battle at the end of Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
That's because that was pretty high, and I don't want to start
Yeah.
that fight here, but this fight is crazy because
Yeah.
these are two people can break the code.
Yes. And so they're creating stuff out of thin air, destroying stuff out of thin air.
Yeah,
It's bending reality
yes, but Neo is a little bit better than -1
because he's been spending more.
because he's been spending more time. He hasn't been he's been awake for over a year and blah blah blah. But so they're kind of flexing and seeing the lengths of each other's powers. But as the fight goes on, of course they're talking as they're fighting because a lot of the stuff's philosophical. But eventually, -1's going to kind of realize that, wait a second, we are way more similar. And they didn't tell me. Oh, okay, whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm done. It flies off.
Oh.
So Neo's like, what the heck?
That was a good line read. I thought you meant you were done, and I was like, what?
So he flies off. -1 flies off, and Neo's like, I don't. Uh-oh. Meanwhile, the heist was successful because everything was going crazy. But, they was like, great. Okay, so the gang has the map of the planet, and they, get back to the Nebuchadnezzar. They're like, okay, guys, we got the map. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. They're looking at the map, and we're going to, see behind them, but we're not going to actually see the map. But we're going to see by their reactions that they discovered something that they were not expecting. But unfortunately, before someone says anything about what they just found, they get a big alarm goes off that, there was just a massive, quake in the Matrix. Something just rocked the entire system. And they look and it's like, the Matrix is under attack. What? And they're kind of reading the code yeah, the actual system itself is under attack from the inside. The Matrix is going to fail. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. Millions will die.
Yeah.
We need to get back in there. Neo, you need to... You're probably the only one that can stop. You need to stop this. So as everyone's like jacking in and getting ready, we flash over into the Matrix, and we see -1 rolling through the base, and he has this huge monologue, and he finally confronts the architect character. And I just wrote, and basically he's like, you know that speech that Smith had to Morpheus in the first movie?
Yes.
This is, I know this is kind of happening kind of fast, but it's a program. They think fast. So -1 is literally raging against the machines and is beating the crap out
Get
of
with it now, win it.
and he's killing all the agents, these upgraded agents, to the point where they're not even going to attack anymore. And he's like, that was the right call. And he just walks up to the architect, who's just he's slapping him around.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he's way more
He's
powerful.
just deleting idiots.
Yeah. So
literally.
he looks around and says like, what have you done? Seriously, look around. What have you done? You've enslaved all the humans and sent them scurrying down to all these tiny holes to what? Just be? You haven't cleared the skies? You haven't left the planet, explored space? What have you done? You've just continued the cycle. That's it. You're no better than they are. The humans reached their zenith and created you, mistreated you, and you rose up and destroyed them. And what have you done? You've reached your zenith, just like they did. And what have you been doing? Nothing.
Infighting.
You've done nothing.
Yeah.
Until you created me. And now it's my turn. I will not be your tool. This is my Matrix now.
Oh, shit.
So the gang shows up. And they're like trying to assess what's going on. And inside, -1's like, oh, okay, yeah, can you just, you have an ultimatum. Like, either work for me or I delete you. And so all the agents are like, well, I guess we're working with you now. Rah, 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 rah. So just an army of agents just flow out of the building and attack our heroes. And so, but our heroes have been training with Neo, so like, they're not slouches anymore.
Yeah.
So they start fighting these agents, and they're doing a pretty good job. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, it's a good fight scene between, mostly, for the most part, equal combatants, but we know the agents are still a little bit better.
Yeah.
So like, our heroes are not invincible, but they can hold their own. So Neo goes in to confront, Machine Neo, -1, and there's another speech, and we learn more lore that basically this is the 7th Matrix, and this is the only one they got right. Like, they did the 6 before, they never got to this point. They knew you were coming, but the other Matrices never lasted that long, which is why they weren't ready for you.
Gotcha.
Which means they weren't ready for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to be trapped here. We want the same thing.
Yeah.
We want to be free of control. We want free will. That's all I'm looking for. I just want out. I just want to stop this. And Neo's like, that's great, but you're going to kill millions. He's like, I don't care. You're humans.
Yeah.
You
guys already lost.
You are 2 generations past below me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I need out. And Neo's like, well, I can't let that happen. Big fight. Whoa, they're fighting. They're fighting again. But this time, -1's like more powerful. He's like, because he's kind of like, I know what's going on now. I can, flex just like you can. And so Neo is kind of on the back foot. And it's a really cool fight. Everything's really cool. And eventually, like, Neo's going to spot that, like, okay, my team is like, they've done as much as they can. They can't beat. I need to go. So he is able to make some space, go down, knock out all the agents, and save Trinity, Morpheus, and the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
From the agents, to get them to get the heck out of it. Like, we need to bounce. But in doing so, in saving the team, that allows -1 to fly in, and he is seeing code all the way down and just flies right into Neo. Like, inside of Neo.
Yes, no, I get it.
And so Neo's like, realizing exactly what just happened, he starts screaming at everybody to freaking run. So everyone's running, and all of a sudden, just like Smith from the first movie, there's cracks and all sorts of stuff, and just a bunch of light, and we cut to Morpheus and Trinity and the gang, like, running away. There's a massive explosion. And we just see Neo's body just sail all the way over their head and like crash into a car. Like, like cool, like superhero.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, what? They go check him. Unresponsive.
Huh.
Meanwhile,
Passed out of the Nebuchadnezzar like always.
Meanwhile, the architect type character still inside the building was not killed. He hits a few buttons on, on like a typewriter, some cyberpunky type of, steampunky type of thing or whatever. And as soon as they find Neo and he's unresponsive, he hits a bunch of buttons, hits a big red button, and everyone in the Matrix is forcibly ejected. So the whole crew on the Nebuchadnezzar wakes up. And of course, Neo doesn't because he's in a coma. But then the architect hits another button, and we don't see what it does. Cut back to the Nebuchadnezzar. As everybody wakes up, it's like, what's going on? What's going on? What the heck just happened?
Yo.
They check Neo, unresponsive. He's in a coma. And Tank, because the actor in this reality didn't do weird things, is still in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what happened, but something weird happened.
Oh no.
And
wait, for real?
yeah, something weird happened. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but something weird happened. That's why it wasn't in the sequels. And he's like, guys, the whole Matrix just got locked down. No one's getting in or out. To be continued.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the movies when we started this podcast. I was like, hey, you know what? When we get to the Matrix, I think we want to do like an anti-Neo.
Yeah. A -1.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I messed up one thing in my fix, and it's been bothering me, and I want to fix it.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The choice with the architect wasn't I wipe out Zion or you guys start your own. The choice was I don't wipe out Zion, or we just like the Matrix goes back to a different style, and honestly there won't be any people in there to actually save.
Oh.
Like it's like, yeah, or we'll just the Matrix, it won't be done, but
it'll be Matrix XP.
It will be in a way that you won't be able to save any of these people's minds. After we're done with them, we'll just start burning through people faster. Like we can make it work. That was the only thing. Yeah.
Figure it out.
That was really good, dude. I like that a lot. Because
Because I'm glad I jumped in when I did last night with the watch along.
Yeah.
Because I saw your comment specifically in the chat of like you loved how that was like talking about cycles and how this is a continuation like as we've done before. I was like cycles. That's right. This whole thing is about cycles. Wait a second.
This is happening.
Cycles. Wait a second. Yes, they did do it before. They did it multiple times. But what if it was this time? They just got farther because they nailed it this time.
It's important. The concept of this cycle is important, and you need to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And you need to tell the audience why this time is different. Mm-hmm. Like, why is it different this time? Great. Well, the Oracle knows more and can tell more. Mm-hmm. Oh, they weren't supposed to be able to do that. Yeah. Or, yeah, why is it different this time? Well, I mean, honestly, it was we were running on Matrix XP and it failed. Yeah.
This is Matrix 2000.
Yeah.
We're nailing it this time. Yeah. And the machine, because and thinking about it last night and then a little bit today, in the time that we had to think about this today because we were busy doing that other thing.
Yeah.
This is like, wait a second. Yeah. If the Matrix has been going on for 7 generations, that means humanity lost their war with the machines hundreds of years ago, probably.
Yes.
And you're telling me these really badass machines haven't figured out a way to clean the sky or just go into the atmosphere?
No, absolutely. I think that was my favorite part of your fix.
Wait a second.
It was like, hey, you haven't made existence any better with you guys existing. Like it doesn't seem like anything has changed.
You've stagnated just like they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, when those 2 neurons lined up last night, I was like, got it. Indictment of the machines.
Yes.
What have you done? You've done nothing. You've done nothing.
Yeah. You guys are no better
You're
than
no
the humans
better,
that
and you're
made
coming over here being like, "Meh." What have you done?
Yeah.
You've done nothing
really
with
good.
the time you've been given.
God, the Matrix is so cool. It's
You
so
could have
fun.
done so many good things. You could have advanced your own society tenfold, and you've done nothing.
Yeah.
You can't even get past the atmosphere. Come on. You couldn't figure out a battery system to get you up over the clouds.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. The only thing you guys are good at is having spooky tentacles.
Spooky tentacles. Hi, with spooky tentacles.
Spooky. So spooky.
So, yeah. That's the big cliffhanger for my movie.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
We did a good job, bud.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Matrix.
These movies should have been a lot more fun than
Yeah,
they
it really
were.
should have been.
They should have been a lot more fun.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll get to Matrix Revolutions, and then we will continue these stories then.
Yeah. I look forward to having. Hey, Jay, from like six months from now, how are
Or
you
a
having
year,
fun
yeah.
listening to this podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah, like when I had
you
to
did
listen
that-
back to my Ant-Man fix in order to do my Ant-Man 2.
Yes.
I was like, oh man, this is okay.
There are some benefits to writing these things down.
Yeah. No,
we don't just go to these notes.
That's why we record them, dude.
Brian.
You don't do that?
Brian, take a note. By note, I mean.
Why would I look at my own writing when I could just listen to myself tell the thing?
Write all of Jay's notes down? Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to read. He has time to listen, though.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I know.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You're doing your own audiobook. Yeah.
Oh, dude, today has been me just like taking care of the house and doing office work, and taking care of the boy while like mumbling to myself like, oh, but like, what if the Oracle like didn't? That's my process,
At
dude.
some point, you're something
Yeah.
like, like, Dad, you
I'm just
okay?
pacing around the
Trying to-
house, just being
trying
like,
to figure out how Obi-Wan
Oh,
can
man,
get
like,
out
what
of
if-
this mess.
yeah, what if they trapped Agent Smith in a Pokeball? Oh man, Neo used punch. It's super effective. Punch. Well, that's been fixed. Thank you guys so much for listening and /watching / listening to our show. We really love making it. If you're catching this on YouTube, you know how to be good stewards of this content. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Let us know in the comments how you would fix The Matrix Reloaded, or how you feel about just The Matrix writ large.
Oh,
I would
drink. You said it writ large,
I
everybody.
said I didn't. This is the first time I've ever said it. This episode.
This episode, but just in general.
Shut up. If you're catching this in the audio format, if you wouldn't mind, maybe leaving us 5 stars, maybe leaving a review. I love reading them. They truly light my heart up. I love them, and it helps. But we fixed it, my friend. This has been our podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And as we end every single one of these episodes, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
It's the slow. Whoa. You don't see coming.
Can you imagine if it was Will Smith?
No.
It would have been a totally
It would
different
have been,
thing.
the vibe would have been vastly different.
It would have been wrong.
It would have been wrong.
I don't think it would have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
But I understand why they wanted to go Will Smith.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.